Oof, what an amazing story.
Yeah.
Naaz, do you want to jump in? I just could go on and on, but I just would love. Naaz is a spoken word poet and just such a beautiful artist. And yeah, I just love to hear your perspective.
I'm astonished. Anna said it the best. I literally am speechless just listening to you as a creator, as a woman, as an Indigenous woman, and just like everything you've said and the wisdom you carry. I had, like Anna said, sometimes there are just moments where you need to hear something. I feel like I just heard it. I wrote down. I'm jumping way back to the beginning, but you said that you're not one of the creators that someone could just be like, "Hey, I need something made. Can you make it for me?" I feel like I'm the same, and I've realized as a as an artist, it really bites me in the butt because people want things, and in order to make money, you gotta produce. And I feel like for me, art has been very much connected to my spirituality, and especially poetry because I was inspired by Sufi poetry, which is technically religious poetry. And for me, it's about connecting to the cosmos and my higher power. So it's really hard to create that. What do you do in circumstances like that when when the pressure to create is there, but also when you are inspired? I don't know. I'm sure as a creator you've had moments where you have to create a piece, and that piece can be so emotional and so heavy. How do you break free of that? Because I feel like I don't know if other people experience this. I'm just going off personal experience of learning from another creator. But I feel like sometimes I'll create a piece and it will be so heavy and it will be involving things that I don't even want to come to terms with. And I'll create it and I know I'll put it out there and people will love it and they'll tell me how, they connected with it. But sometimes the burden of that piece can like stay with me and I don't know how to, I guess, move past it. Do you feel like you've ever had to experience that or been through that?
Thank you, Naz. That yeah, I'm sitting here with you all in this circle. This is a circle. And at the very beginning, I lit my smudge and I grounded us in this space and I cleansed this space. And I've heard nothing but authentic, heartfelt responses and it's powerful and it makes me feel so good and so heard and so seen. And I think that's what we all crave. We want to be heard. We want to be valued. We want to be seen for who we are as individuals. And when you're an artist, whether it's a spoken word, a musician, whatever it is, it's hard. And I struggle with this all the time. So thank you for bringing it up because we're going to talk about it. I struggle with creating things that are authentic and raw and real to things that people want to hear. To things that people like, oh, how will they react if I do this? Oh, how will they, what will they think if I do this? Or, you know, that's the block. That is where we are no longer authentic. That's where we need to, really look and check ourselves to say, okay, why am I doing this? What is my intention? So I think when we remove the barriers where we're not setting an intention and we're just being fully immersed in spirit and we're allowing that creative energy to flow from us and through us that we were born to be, that we are born creators. We are. And when we can remove all the ego, all that outside expectation, then I think it is, and I wish I could tell you how to get there. There are moments, like I'd be a millionaire if I knew that answer, maybe a multimillionaire. But I know that that's what it is. I know that that's what it is when we can start to create from that authentic essence. Those are the words, authentic essence. And remove any of the noise from the head. Just remove it and write your story. Write from your point of origin, who you are, find out everything about who you are, your identity, what happened in your history, and immerse yourself in that and write from that. Because did you know that if every single one of us told our story, we would change history?
We should all do that then. We should definitely all do that. Maybe not as eloquently and powerfully as you. Holy wow. But no, absolutely. I've been talking a lot about this. They've heard of too many times, but Tom Oliver, a professor of applied ecology, talking about how if we all operate in like this expanded mode of self, as you were doing, like this idea that you're not just the single self, but you're multiple, and you're the universe, and you're Kennedy, and how that's exactly it. It's going to expand other minds, and that's what you're doing with the double effect of the music and the vibrations. Like when that drum, exactly that, like we're all getting in sync when you played that drum, and I just immediately just felt, like you said, grounded. And it's so funny. I was just talking to a friend of mine who's a medium the other day, and talking about how essential it is for us to be grounded, like with Gaia and the earth, and so that you did that exercise where we just put our feet down was so inspiring too. I have no question right now. I'm just kind of rambling about how incredible and transformative this has been. So yeah, you're inspiring and beautiful and incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love how you brought up the fact that if everyone were to share their story, we would change the world. And I'm also a believer that one person like yourself can share a story that somehow makes others feel heard, somehow makes them feel like they've shared their story too. Mm-hmm. Because we all hold different spaces, I think, in the world. And some people are beautiful teachers. Other people are incredibly wise with the earth, and have this ability to understand just innately how it works, how the earth works. And others are artists, and some people are combinations of these, and therefore have a nuanced, if you're an artist that's also a healer, that's a different kind of artist to an artist that's also an entertainer, right? Who is also important because that allows us to enjoy life and be taken somewhere wonderful where we lose our sense of, where we get just catapulted somewhere else completely, and we laugh and we have just joy, so I guess what I'm saying is that thank you for today, and for reminding me that how important it is to share what you've created authentically, because what you've been able to do for me today, I think all of us could do for others. Both allow us to feel heard and inspire us to share our stories.
Yes.
I'm so happy that you are here. It's so nice. I just remember when you and I would write music together, like you would come over and help me write songs, and we would always like talk beforehand about it. Like we would always like write notes down, like exactly like how I'm feeling about the situation, and then we would like take those words, find rhymes, put stuff together, then create music to it. It was such a beautiful process. It was fun. It was so therapeutic because we talked for like hours and then would write music, and they were always great songs. I loved writing music with you. I want to do it again soon. It was my favorite.
Yeah, we must.
You've taught me a lot.
Mhm. Would you want to play anything too? I know Kennedy had talked to you about that, and we would just love that if you feel comfortable.
Yes, I could play something. I'm thinking a drum song because if you're a guitar player like me, you will know that if you haven't played for a while, your nails get long and your calluses go away. So I would have to sit here and file my nails, which I've actually done. I did a house concert at 3 Mile in the Okanagan, and it was so funny because I had my musician friend Brigitte. We play a lot of music together. She's standing next to me and she's got her keyboard out and I'm over here and I'm playing guitar, but I kept having difficulty with one of the chords. I think it was a D chord because one of my nails was too long, and so it would just sort of like wasn't like a nice solid sound. So I basically stopped and I just said there was a room of about I don't know, 20 something people in this beautiful house, and I said, does anybody happen to have a nail file? And a lady in the front row just like opens her purse and she's like, I do. So I stood there and I filed my nail, and Brigitte's just like rolling her eyes. She's like, only Kym Gouchie would do that. I'm like, I said, if anybody would like a refund
when you're playing.
Yeah. I said, if anybody would like a refund, now's the time. Anyways, so that's what I did, and nobody left. So
Nobody left.
But yeah, so I won't be these drums honestly are a whole other webinar or podcast, because I can tell you so much about a hand drum.
I'd love that.
We'll need a part 2.
Yes, please come back for part 2.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna do one that's is a grounding one. It's something that's gonna. Okay, so for this one, I would like everybody to sit up nice and straight. Put both your feet on the floor or on the ground if you're outside. Or let's imagine we're outside and we've got the grass between our toes and the birds are singing and the wind is blowing in our hair. The sun is shining on our face. And let's take this time to let go of anything that is not in alignment with the goodness in our heart. Unclench your jaw, soften your brow, take a deep breath, stay in the now, feet on the ground, shoulders relaxed, let go of the past, stay in the now, stay in the now, stay in the now, stay in the now.
Wow.
Whoa.
Makes me want to.
That felt liberating.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, totally liberating. I just And
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
exactly. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
We're all getting
it's been so just wonderful to be here with all of you, and I just I love these conversations. I'm not sure if we all share the she her pronouns in this space, so I don't refer to us as women in this space as something else that I'm very aware of. I have many non-binary friends, and I'm still working on it, but I'm rewiring my brain, which is something that we all need to do, and it's something that we can all do. And just be mindful of each other, and be mindful of pronouns. Be mindful of when we speak to groups of people that we stay away from the words ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
Right.
oh, hey, you guys. Like, guys is the hardest one. I use guys all the time, and I'm like, oh, no guys. Pardon?
Guys is hard.
Yeah, I've been working on the rewiring for that one for so long.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of like when I first was aware of this, and I first started to spend time with non-binary friends, and I would stick my foot in my mouth at least 5 times in a conversation, but most people are very forgiving and realize that this is just a new way that we all need to be together, and we're all learning together. And the important part is to correct ourselves and to not let it go. And even when we're speaking about our friends who are non-binary and they're not in the room, to still hold that space for them. And why it's so important is identity. And it's very similar to being an Indigenous person and feeling that racism and historical, like everything. I don't even know. I don't know enough about it to get into the discussion, but I know that how important and valuable it is for us to acknowledge our and be aware of the gender binary.
So
and the one thing that I was told, and I think it's just really powerful, is that why it's important for us to identify ourselves. Even in this space, you'll notice that I renamed myself to she, her. And the reason that I do that is because it's like a welcome to other people to put their pronouns, so that when I'm talking to a group of people, that I know that I'm going to say, wow, this has been a beautiful time with all of us women. But I couldn't say that here because I wasn't sure. And so I'm very careful about pronouns. And my friend Ray Spoon told me that the reason that it's so important is so that when people who identify as they, them, so that you can find each other, because that's your community. Yeah. That's your tribe. That's where you feel comfortable because you're understood. Absolutely. And another non-binary friend told me that a way of doing that, when referring to people as they, them, which is really difficult to do because it doesn't quite fit in the English language. Sometimes when you're referring to somebody as they, they're coming. Oh, who are they? Oh, it's just Ray. Oh, but you said they. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, So it's like referring to them as though they have a mouse in their pocket. I've heard that. I've heard that. So I visualize that. They're coming. They are coming. Look at them. Exactly. Like it's kind of like, it's kind of an interesting way of looking at things. But I just wanted to put that out there because it's really important.
It's so important. And the synchronicity of you saying that. Sorry, Anna, you were about to say something, but yeah, that's sort of the chapter I'm working on. I'm putting together a collection called Sex and Medicine, Intersex in the Health and Medical Humanities, but looking at sex obviously as a spectrum. But one of the intersex activist individuals that I'm writing about, they say exactly that. Like if everyone, when they said, when they were listing, it said intersex, male, female, and in every sentence, instead of in just male and female, that would make a difference. So again, just acknowledging the identity, right? Just having it, in the LGBTIQ, all of that. So I'm so glad you pointed that out, because I realized that I do have that on my social media, but not on Zoom. I think every one of us is going to change our, I put our pronouns on Zoom now. Yeah. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I just wanted to add to that before we go to Anna. Something else that is super important that we like I think sometimes it just is what it is, but for the most part, whenever I do enter into these virtual spaces, I always do land acknowledgement, and it's something that I didn't do off the top, but I include it in my tag here as well, and I think it's a really good practice for all of us to do. It may not fit, but as long as
it will be definitely in the intro for sure.
Yeah,
in all of them, I think.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say it just for the record, is that I am here in my ancestral territory. I am here in the Lheidli T'enneh territory, and Lheidli T'enneh means the people from the confluence of two rivers, which are the Fraser and the Chaco River. And I'm here on my reservation, which is in my mother's house, and on the right side of me is the railroad track, and on the left side of me is the Fraser River. And on the other side of that river is our other part of our reservation. We've been divided by the river. There's a long history here in my community about the displacement of my people, my ancestors, from the city of Prince George. So whenever I refer to where I'm from, I am from the Lheidli T'enneh First Nation, colonially known as Prince George.